Ever since NASA launched Webb, we've been getting some really cool images of space, and amazingly, they just keep getting better. Even though the images themselves are quite a treat to look at, they're also helping astronomers understand things about the cosmos which used to be a mystery before. Today, we'll dive into the story of two stars with dust rings around them. Webb captured a pretty beautiful image of them, so let's get into it. First up, James Webb Telescope stumbles across a fingerprint in space. There are beautiful details in the universe that we just keep coming across, and in many ways, it makes us believe even more firmly about how all that surrounds us is connected. After today's video, you'll agree with us when we say it's nothing short of mesmerizing. NASA's latest space telescope has been capturing some very mesmerizing images of the cosmos. Back in August, it snapped a picture of two stars that were surrounded by multiple dust rings. What's more, everyone on social media seemed to agree that the rings look so much like the patterns on our fingers. But fingerprints aren't the only thing these dust rings resemble. A lot of people pointed out how they're so similar to the rings on a tree. And this one observation is quite interesting. The rings on a tree reveal to us a lot about those trees, and just like that, these dust rings aren't just some pretty cosmic formations. No, in fact, there's a lot that scientists can study from these rings, and it's like revealing the universe's history. Now for everything we know about this rare star system. Before we get into more detail about the rings themselves, we think it's best to explain to you everything about these two stars, the stars responsible for the birth of these rings. But we can't just call them stars. They've got a name, and it's Wolf-Rayet 140. We know. You probably heard Wolf-Rayet and thought, how cool. But then the 140 threw you off. Well, that's just how astronomers name their stuff, and we can't really complain about it much. Okay, enough complaining about the name. Let's talk about how rare actually Wolf-Rayet stars are. Yes, there are definitely more of them, but not too many. So far, astronomers have only discovered around 600. We know that sounds like a big number, but in the context of the universe's scale and expanding size, it seems pretty small. Now the thing is that among these WR stars, Wolf-Rayet 140 is even rarer. The reason behind that is the shape of its orbit. Most have typical circular orbits, but WR 140 has kind of an elliptical orbit. Anyway, the star system is of the O type. Yeah, it's the category of stars that have temperatures up to 30,000 Kelvin. They're definitely some of the hottest stars out there. Compared to our sun, they weigh at least 25 times more, and once they collapse, they turn into black holes. The other notable fact about these stars is how they produce incredibly strong winds, considering how hot they're burning. These winds then throw off a lot of gas into space. With that in mind, let's move on. Up next, the fascinating story behind the creation of this dusty fingerprint. Now that we've explained to you how these stars generate some very huge winds, we can now dive into how WR 140 caused the formation of those amazing dust rings. Because the WR 140 is a binary system of stars, you can guess that the two stars are always orbiting each other. Whenever the two stars come close to each other, a ring is formed. The thing is, they don't come close very frequently. It's something that happens every 8 years. Remember the tree rings we mentioned a few moments ago? Well, you now know why. In the same way tree rings tell us the age of trees, these cosmic rings give us clues about the passage of time. As we said, it's remarkable how everything around us is so intricately connected. We already mentioned the hot winds the stars make, so whenever their orbits draw them close to each other, the winds from each star interact with each other, causing the gas from the winds to compress. When that happens, we end up with dust. This dust forms a ring around the star system and eventually spreads out. Another little secret, not all WR stars make rings. They do form dust, yes, but not rings like WR 140, and it goes back to how the orbit of WR 140 is elongated. Moving on, how Webb made it possible for us to see more rings. With all of this beautiful knowledge in our hands, we've got to give credit where credit's due, and in this case, it goes to the James Webb Telescope. The fact we can make out 17 rings in this new picture is a huge deal. Before Webb, we did have pictures of the WR 140, but they never showed this many rings, and you couldn't even make them out this clearly. It goes to show that Webb has great sensitivity in capturing these details. What's more, we've got to talk about Webb's mid-infrared instrument. Webb works by detecting infrared light, a part of the wavelength of light that's not detected through our normal vision. What MIRI does is it detects the longest infrared wavelengths. This means that it can capture images of cooler objects such as the dust rings that form when the gas from the winds of the stars compresses. Additionally, the spectrometer attached to MIRI also gave us details about the composition of these dust rings. We're really grateful to the people who came up with this technology. MIRI was a result of a joint effort between NASA and the European Space Agency, ESA. Without that, we might never have seen such mesmerizing images of fingerprints up in space. What's more, the dust created by these systems holds great importance. A long time ago, astronomers were quick to dismiss the role dust played in the universe, but now we know just how important it is. Like we've seen with WR-140, these dust particles aren't just there for show. They point toward the existence of certain astrophysical phenomena. In our case, it was the result of two stars coming close to each other, the way we've been able to observe and study this process even more. What's more, a deep analysis of dust particles can also help us know more about our own solar system. The more you know, the more you're able to understand the universe better. In the grand scheme of things, everything holds great importance, even if it's just dust. Let's take a look at how Webb helps scientists solve the mystery of the star system. We've talked about how MIRI spectrometer has helped scientists figure out what the dust rings around WR-140 are composed of. Well, mostly it's made out of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs. Such compounds are incredibly carbon-rich, and stars which produce PAH are actually very important because they serve as vital sources of carbon in the universe. Let's learn about how Wolf-Rayet star systems can give birth to more stars and planets. Even though Wolf-Rayet stars are hard to find, the fact remains that they played quite a huge role when it comes to the formation of stars and planets. A lot of researchers have theorized that our sun might have been formed due to a similar binary system of stars. Basically, these stars lose mass because of all the dust they create. Eventually, there comes a time when the stars die and form black holes. By then, the stars have cleared the area around them and all the dust that had formed begins to get dense. Once that occurs, new stars can form. The WR-140 can serve as a model to study how such stellar systems influence the formation of more stars and then entire planets. More importantly, we have evidence that these dust rings never fade out. In fact, they remain as they are. What this indicates is that the dust stays preserved, even in extremely hostile cosmic environments. It simply means this dust serves as material for newer stars and planets. It's kind of like recycling when you think about it. So, like astrophysicist Patrick Morris said, Wolf-Rayet stars may be rare and they may not live for long, but they do supply the dust that gives birth to more stars. Finally, how researchers are absolutely over the moon with these new images. As you can imagine, astronomers and researchers are absolutely blown away by these images. They get to figure out the mystery of this star system, and they've even got more rings to admire now. It's been a big day for them. Ryan Lau, an astronomer who's also the main investigator of the Webb Early Release Science Program, shared his thoughts about the images and the significant findings they've got on their hands now. In a nutshell, Ryan was amazed by what he saw. What's more, he was extremely joyous over the fact that the telescope captured a total of 17 rings. Dr. Olivia Jones, who works at the UK Astronomy Technology Centre, called the entire thing very exciting. She talked about how these images go to show just how much the Webb telescope is capable of. Professor DeMarco, who teaches at Macquarie University, discussed how dust is an important part of the interstellar medium, and that Wolf-Rayet stars play a key role in that dust formation. With that, let's hit pause until next time. What do you think about the unique dust rings? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.